Been a long time. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is Tuesday night. Tuesday night is time. It's time for the one, the only Jackson Kayak Dock Talk, episode 49, coming at you right now. What is up, one and all? It is good to see you. Good to have you back in the building. Is it a building? It's a building. We're going to call it a building. We're stoked you're here. We've got a new panel, new conversation. We're going to go around the room. We are going to start in the low corner with Miss Vic White. Where do you hail from? What kind of Jackson kayak are you paddling? And yeah, whatever else you want to tell us.
Hey guys. So yeah, from Texas, and I'm in the NAR, like my third NAR. I love those. And yeah.
Mr. Tyler.
Yes, sir. Ottawa, Ontario, in your friendly neighborhood, Canada, in the Bite FD. Absolutely love it. Although I do love the NAR. I hope to own that boat one day. And Big Fish Energy on YouTube. Hit me up.
Mr. Doyle.
How's it going? I'm Doyle. I'm also in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Out here in the nice cold weather. I'm fishing out of a U-pick. I'm a no pedals guy. I'm a no pedals guy at heart, so no pedals.
He gives me crap all the time.
Well, we could talk about that later. And I'm also on Instagram and YouTube, Eastern Ontario Adventures. So put lots of fun stuff up there.
Well, we are glad to have you all back here tonight. Tonight's big topic, we're talking about how to create kayak fishing content. Seems to be a hot topic a lot of people want to know about. So we've assembled an all-star cast for this one, an all-star cast of creators. We're going to jump right into it with Doyle. Let's talk a little bit about your path and how you ended up having such interest in content creation.
Oh man, I don't know how far back we should go here. Like,
take us back to preschool, wherever it starts.
Well, I'm really good friends with Mr. Will Richardson, and that's how he got me into all this nonsense, into kayaks and into a lot of filming. And basically, the way that we got in connection was that my mom and his mom went to the same church, and they became talking about their two kids who were doing video production. And Will was kind enough to take me under his wing and show me the ropes. And he introduced me to the team and James back in the day, and just everybody. And we did a lot of Will and James shows that I filmed for them, and just ended up drifting naturally into photography because I'm a photographer, like professionally. So it just kind of natural transition into that. And everything just kind of seemed to fall into to place from there. You know, that's a short version, really.
That's a good version. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been fishing since I was just a little kid. My dad got me all started with fly fishing, and I've just sort of been going from there ever since. But as a younger teenager, I would always, back when GoPro Quick was a thing, like that little editing program, I used to make GoPro videos every time me and my friends would go out fishing, and I would just do it for fun. Like, it would just get me so hyped up to put all the footage together, throw some music on, and and send it to the boys, just get them hyped for the next session. And it really just built from there. Started doing YouTube now for the past 4 years or so. It's really taken off. I've learned a lot from colleagues, Doyle, self-research. I didn't go to school for it or anything like that. I just sort of taught myself as I moved along. So it's definitely a passion outside of the day job. So yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Vickie?
So I started doing videos several years ago. I fished all my life, but my mom was bedbound at home. So I started originally making videos just for her to, feel like she was outside or, doing some stuff. And she ended up loving them. And my cousins were like, hey, why don't you just share those like on YouTube and stuff? So that's where it started for sure.
That's sick.
Awesome. So let's kind of dive into some nuts and bolts here. Just to kind of start off as we build this thing up. Tyler, we're going to start with you on this one because you already kind of started heading that way. What are some of the resources people can use beyond going to college? What are some of the resources people can use to gain ground and learn in content creation outside of schooling?
Yeah, honestly, like for me, it was seeing what other creators are doing, get an idea of how other people are putting videos together. Because over time, you do develop your own style, and it will sort of evolve over time as you learn more and more. It helps to have friends who are into it as well. But honestly, like I dove into understanding my equipment. That was the first thing, understanding in and out how all my equipment works. From there, YouTube was a huge asset. As funny as it is, we're all on YouTube, but YouTube for learning, like learning Premiere Pro to the point now we're quite sufficient in it. How to properly put videos together, exposure triangles. You can get really technical with it all, but just doing your own research over time and acquiring that knowledge. Just the more you do it too, the more it becomes second nature. So that's YouTube alone is a huge resource. The internet in general. And then it's a bonus to have friends like Doyle who, went to school and everything like that. So shout out, but yeah.
So let's move to Doyle as with this question. Same thing. Kind of give us that background on how to gain knowledge and learn some different things.
Well, like Tyler had mentioned there, I did study broadcast in school, so I have a pretty extensive like practical knowledge of almost everything from like proper lighting and just like scripting and like every single aspect of putting some type of content together. I have been taught in some kind of way, shape, or form, but it doesn't come like naturally. You have to put in the time and the effort to do it. You're never going to just be naturally good at something, and I was horrible at it the first years that I started. And you got to put in like, people say put in 10,000 hours to get good at something. You really have to put in a bunch of time and develop into whatever kind of content creator that you want to make. And even now I'm still kind of developing my style and path in terms of at least YouTube. I have a very distinct style and process for my photography, and that's kind of my main passion and my drive, where my drive comes from. And the interesting thing about me is that I haven't been fishing my whole life like all you people. I've only been fishing for like 10 years. So the photography is typically comes first for me, and settings and stuff, all that stuff is completely second nature, and I've tried to explain to Tyler, can attest to this in the past, where it's how do you know to exposure for this, or how do you know to film that, or how do you know what this shot's going to look like? And because I put in so much time and hours and stuff, that in my head I already know what the end product is going to be like. And for me, it's, from that middle section of getting to that, to what is in my head is kind of the part that needs to be figured out. So I don't know if that really answered the question, but that's kind of how
it's actually it's the perfect
that's kind
it's
of
the perfect
how
segue.
I got into this. And yeah, I mean, with YouTube now, I'm just trying to find, a path that I'm happy with. And I've kind of stopped. I've come to a stop and go quite a few times, almost every year, probably. But I could not explain to you certain things. It's just like already in my head, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes 100% of sense. And I'm kind of going to take one of the things you said, and we're going to move to Vickie for the next question. Style. And this is something that resonates with me that Doyle said. Do you feel like, Vickie, that your style is still evolving as you continue to create now from like it's an unfinished style, like you're not quite there yet, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. Um, yeah, I started out like with just the front camera and it was not great. And then, then I went to one behind and one in the front and then one on the side. Not all at the same time. But yeah, it's been evolving and it's definitely still there. Like even the difference between like YouTube videos and then shorts or TikToks, still kind of a little different and yeah, definitely evolving.
How about you, Tyler? You feel like you're still kind of evolving in your process?
Yeah, constantly for sure. And it's funny too. It like you can get so caught up in gear and stuff like that, and having this angle and that angle, and I need this camera and this, and like I've been through that, and I've had all the GoPros, the DJIs, like all sorts of stuff. And I find now after doing it for long enough, I've come to really enjoy a more simplistic setup where I have my main, the FX30 for like the really nice shots, the big camera, you always call it the big camera. And then like an offset behind the back look that I can sort of move around on the track system if I want to, and like the drone. And if you can do a lot with that. You can punch in when you're editing, you can make shots look like a different shot even though it's not. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do, but I've found that going more simplistic has really made a big difference in my ability just to get more footage in a day, have more fun, and still like produce, content that I like. So, but yeah, constantly evolving with the style for sure. Every video is a different feel, so you kind of put your passion towards what you're feeling for that video, and then sort of go from there.
How about you, Doyle? You want to elaborate on that one?
Well, yes and no. It's I'm trying to relate from a photography standpoint, and I want to touch on what Tyler said about how he feels when he's making the videos, but I also want to talk about what the audience is going to feel, when I'm doing my Instagram reels or YouTube videos. It's all about telling a story for me and kind of trying to invoke an emotion in somebody, and I'm really good at doing that with my photos. And I don't know I think I can do it with video. Maybe I haven't totally figured it out yet, but that's the thing for me is this story. If the story is good, it's almost as if the equipment doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And how important is storytelling to producing content that is relatable to the viewership?
I think that's like the main thing,
It is. Yeah, I agree.
You have to, it's a marriage of all of these things. And that is the complicated part. You can be really good at taking really, really cool cinematic style shots, but if there's no story behind it, I mean, sure, it's really cool, but you're not going to have people coming back to look at those things typically. If you want to have an engaging audience, I think capturing people's emotions and feelings with a good story trumps everything else that you can really show. And I think that's like the secret formula for anybody. And like I said, like, you know, not to toot my own horn here, but I feel like so many photos that I've been able to take or put in a position to capture like a certain moment or memory, like I know Tyler tells me all the time, you know, he's just like, oh wow, like that's like amazing, or like, you know, just like if I'm gonna get an emotion out of somebody, whether it's, you know, surprise, happy, sad, you know, just like in awe or whatever, like that emotion for me is the thing that I strive for, especially in photos, but in video, because you can actually kind of put words to it or anything like that, and you can actually physically tell the story and the person's not guessing what the story is. I think that it's just so important now, and I think with AI actually probably could make it a lot easier for everybody too.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit in fun here before this is all over, I'm sure. Vickie, can you kind of give us some storytelling tips, maybe before some things that you do, maybe before you head out for a day that kind of set up the route that you're going to try to take an adventure?
Yeah, I definitely plan out kind of a video, right? Like, okay, I know today it's going to be catches, or hey, you know what, today I want to concentrate on the good and the bad. So in this short or this video, I'm going to show, hey, you know what, you might be out here for hours and not catch anything. You may, you know, have a bad day loading your kayak up, or you may have, you know, whatever. So yeah, I do kind of decide like this is what I'm going to concentrate on, and that helps me decide where the camera is going to go. You know, how it's going to kind of how I'm going to edit it too at the very end of the day. But yeah, I just kind of think over what I want it to, what the story is going to be, right? What are we concentrating on, and then kind of play to that while I'm out.
I have a question actually relating to that.
Fire away.
So you talked about the good things and the bad things. So one of my personal struggles is when enough of the bad things happen, I totally just give up and I scrap the video for the day. And I want to ask all three of you, if when you plan things, they don't go as planned, you film all day and, you know, you get skunked or whatever, you know, that's, you know, very common for me. What do you guys do with that footage, or what would you do in that scenario? Or would you add that into a bigger story or another story, or do you kind of adjust on the fly and make the story of that day about something else? Or you know, what do you guys find that you usually would do in that scenario?
Well, like for me, if it's a tournament recap, man, look, y'all, I skunked today, but you know, I had a great day. I was out on the water, and I try to add extra, you know, if I saw a deer, I don't know, you can add a few things and still keep people kind of interested. Like, at least, you know, you still had a good day on the water. It just, you didn't have a great day. Or yeah, I have also changed it all the way. Like, okay, instead of concentrating on the catches today, I'm going to concentrate on the paddle. Like, man, I went all around this lake. It was beautiful. I mean, that's me at least.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, Doyle, you kind of know my system when it comes to making videos. There's no wasted footage for me. Like, personally, I'll whatever I got in a day, I'll generally save like the key clips I want that contribute to any sort of story whatsoever. And then the next time I go out and fish, I'll film and reference that other day, and then throw that footage over top while I'm talking about it, and then bring it back to the main video to just add that extra depth to the story. and just show, look, we've been grinding on this for 3 days, for example, and we're finally back here today, and we got a plan. We've used what we've learned from the past couple days, and you have that supporting footage just to add that depth. I find that makes a really big difference for sure. And even just setting a goal, like, I'm like the other day, it was Saturday, it was absolutely terrible, but I got the footage I needed to create the kayak launching trick short that I made. And like, you got, even if it's a bad day, you look at the little successes like that. Even though you drove 2 hours to the spot, you fished for a couple hours and just got dumped on with rain and like 2 degrees. But yeah, you just got to look at the positives and just save that footage, man. I know you got hard drives all over the place. Just save the footage and then bridge to it down the road, man.
Yeah,
I think,
maybe too many hard drives.
One of the things, and I think maybe Doyle, you might relate to this a little bit, like, sometimes I leave and I feel like, okay, well, these cameras ran all day. The one in front of me, the one behind me, whatever. But I got distracted at some point throughout the day, whether that was because fishing was fishing or because I didn't want to take up someone else's time that was with me in that particular instance. And I come home and I maybe feel like I didn't complete a project or I didn't get quite enough to make the project complete. I've got stuff that's sitting in a hard drive and it's sitting on the Googleverse that's never seen the light of day, stuff from last year, stuff from this year. And I'll be honest with you, there was at one point this year, and I did a quick little reel on it where I just deleted everything. Like, honestly, had a 256 gigabyte cards in my GoPro or my DJI cameras, and they were full, and I just deleted them just because I didn't feel like I felt like the weather had changed, like the leaves had come, and that early spring look was gone, and it's just like, well, I really can't do nothing with this, so I just honestly hit delete. I wish I wouldn't have, but it just felt incomplete to me, and that kind of is one of the things that I go through is getting that distracted as far as other people being with me and fishing and all that fun stuff. Which kind of leads me to my next question. As content creators, we're talking about everything can't always go perfect. How do you deal with, when we script a video, how do you deal with, or you have an idea, you script a video or you have an idea about a video, how do you deal with when Mother Nature doesn't necessarily cooperate, like the fish, the weather, the wind kicks up in the middle of the day and just totally ruins everything? What does that do to your process?
Tyler. Speaking for me, for myself, I try to never look at the weather. I know it's one of Tyler's like pet peeves of me, is I don't look at the weather. I don't care about the weather. The weather is what it is, and it's not going to change really. Or it's I keep a pair of like extra thick splash pants, and I keep a rain jacket in my car at all times, and I'm good to go in any kind of weather. And I'm paddling whether there's a good weather or not, and I've got good gear that's all weather resistant and stuff. So I'm still out there trying to get things together, and that's paid off for me heavily. Even just the last 2 weeks there, I was out on a lake. It was like 40 to 50 kilometer winds, and I ended up catching a PB walleye. No, you can't really. I have all the footage for it, and I FaceTime Tyler, and he was at like a breakfast dinner or something, or breakfast like brunch or whatever he was doing.
Restaurant.
I still have all that footage, and you can't. The wind was so trash that you can't really hear anything. And something can probably be made from that later, but. For me, if the weather doesn't cooperate, I'm going to find a way to make it cooperate in a way that works for me, so that I can still at least go fishing. The quality of content is questionable, but I'm not going to let it stop me, from at least trying. That has bitten me in the butt, though. I almost got tornadoed on once with Sagati. But
Tornadoed on. Hate it when that happens.
That's a story for another day, probably.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll jump in, but having, like, for inclement weather, having the right gear makes a massive difference for being comfortable out there and just being able to keep grinding and fishing. And it's true, Doyle don't care about the weather. He don't care about the wind. He goes no matter what. I pay attention to the wind the most, just especially out on the kayak on bigger bodies of water. It can get kind of dicey. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just try to look at the positives. I've been down the road so many times of like going grinding all day, spending the time out there, the drives, and it's even worse in the winter for ice fishing and stuff because the fishing's even harder. But just trying to look at the positives, like, oh, I caught this fish today. At least I got it on camera. Whatever. I still had a good day. It's difficult to do, but it if you practice it enough, I mean, it will eventually take hold, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's I had a lot of back issues last year, and like it literally put me out all summer into like December, and I mean I missed all the tournament season. I didn't do anything last year, and like I think about that now and like feeling where I'm like better and stronger than ever. And yeah, there's worse days, man. At least I can get up and go fish, So yeah, everyone's situation is different, but it's just trying to be positive and look at what came of the day type thing for me, at least.
How about you, Vickie? How do you deal with when Mother Nature and her little fishy friends don't cooperate?
I kind of agree with the having the right equipment with you, like rain suits and such. And if it's really bad, I might do a voiceover or something where I, like you said earlier, Tyler, where you refer back to it in a future video and you're like, man, I was out here last week and it was horrible. And like, you could show the rain, you could show the wind. Yeah, so I might sit on it until the next video or try to do a voiceover or something so it's not horrible to try to listen to.
There you go.
Best friend.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Classic YouTuber hard drives. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. So the next question. This is the big one. You guys have been creating for a long time now, and seeing different things like AI come into the picture. Do you think AI is a help to a content creator, or do you feel like AI is maybe a bad thing for content creation?
Who's going?
Who wants to go first? Because I have heavy opinions, I think.
Doyle, you go last.
Doyle's going last on this one. How about you, Vickie?
Yeah, I think it could be good. As far as like, hey, I'm trying to come up with new ideas for videos. It may help you think creatively, but I think that if you were to use it, like, come up with these video ideas for me, come up with these taglines. I think that takes away from your own creativity and the authenticity of your videos. But I think using it to, hey, help me come up with these ideas. Is there a better angle than what I'm using? Like it can answer questions and kind of help you along, but definitely I don't want to lose my own, like myself in my videos.
Yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah, no, I mean, in my opinion, it's if you know how to use it properly, it's extremely helpful. It's a really good jump off point. Like what you were talking about earlier, like where do you learn? You can learn from like ChatGPT now, for example. If you know how to prompt it properly, it's very useful. Like I use it frequently to generate video ideas. It's not like tedious things like scripting and stuff like that. Cause like Vickie said, you're gonna, like your viewers are gonna know that you're not being yourself. You're just reading off a phone screen or a sheet of paper, but like using it for generating video ideas, generating video titles for YouTube. So like I look at my analytics all the time, and a lot of stuff that I've used ChatGPT for generating ideas and titles alone have really like paid off big time with views and stuff like that. So I think it's good. You see a lot of these AI. We were talking about this earlier, Doyle and I. All these AI like video editing apps popping up, and like 90% of them are spam and just mining your information, and they don't actually work. So don't fall for that stuff. Like learn it yourself. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't. Yeah, and the video generation stuff too now is crazy too. Like it's starting to take off in different directions. So I mean, next year if we have the same conversation, it'll probably be completely different. But right now, definitely pretty useful when it comes to the video ideas and stuff like that. At least for me.
And before Doyle gets going, I'm gonna jump in and say a couple things. But like what you guys both alluded to, startup story and different things. Those are awesome points. Something else that I think is neat, like just if you've got a photo and it's a really good photo or something, but yet there's somebody standing in the background, sorry, that you didn't see, and they're like taking a pee or something over in the woods, and that AI ability to help remove that a little bit, that's kind of nice. If something that you maybe didn't see when you took that photo or video footage, that removal and some of that is nice that Adobe has built in. And then some of the sensor technology that's coming out in some of the newer cameras, like I've got the A7C2, and I bought it just because of some of the wild stuff that it does, like the tracking and different things. It's almost like it's on a little gimbal of its own at times.
Yeah.
And I think that there's uses and, like autofocuses and how it helps relate different things. I think that's going to be some very cool technology built into some of the equipment that we use. But I'm going to let Doyle really take it to the next level here and tell us what he thinks.
Well, I think Vic said it the best there with authenticity. I think authenticity is the word of the day, honestly. Like, that is something that needs to remain with you wherever you go with whatever you post. And I do like ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT quite frequently for a lot of my video ideas, or going back and forth with different titles or descriptions or anything like that. I think it's really, really good. There's even the subscription service that I use for my music Artlist. They added a bunch of AI features this year where you can upload a photo and it would add like motion to the photo, or you can record a voice and it will like AI repeat it back to you. Yeah, it's like crazy. And I see it a lot on Instagram now about just so many ads for AI. And I was like, all right, I'm going to download this and give it a try. And first of all, it wasn't free. It was like $10 or whatever. And every time you want to like actually save something, it's all these like catchy, like movement to videos or photos just to like, grab the attentions of people. And I think it is pushing people in the wrong direction, and we're losing the authenticity of the creator and the audience. And maybe not as much on YouTube, but definitely everywhere else. It's just like boom, 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 and that's like, a human can't do it that fast. You would have to use some kind of a program to throw 5 photos up, and you got a 20-second Instagram reel that's like super jumpy and sure, it will look really cool, but like what is the point of all that? And part of me really wants to go back in time like 5 or 6 years to maybe just before COVID, right where the authenticity of the user or the filmmaker or whatever, it was super, super important. And in my opinion, that was like one of the peak times of content creation, is because everybody was very passionate about their own story and sharing their story and doing things because they love doing them. But now it's all about like get these views, or get the numbers. It's all about the numbers, and the authenticity side of people who are doing things passionately, at least right now, from what I've observed, is being pushed aside for all of these AI things that I mean, I'll admit are really freaking cool, but like, why do we want that? Why are we consuming that? And it's like, I think it's just everything's just going to be mush in 5 years. We're not even going to have phones. We're going to be like, holding our finger to our eyeball and like closing it and watching like a 2-hour video, a 2-hour, Marvel 24 in 4K, like with my eyes closed, or some crazy thing like that. It's like, I don't know. It's not the direction I personally would want to be going. I think there definitely has its uses, especially if you're not able, if I want to talk to Tyler and I mean, he's busy, I ask ChatGPT usually, and because it's, it's responsive, like good ideas back and forth. Sometimes it's not always the best, but it gets the job done. But I think in terms of the actual content creation side of things, I think it's a very dangerous territory or road to be going down.
There's just so many sub niches too, right? It's just like fishing. It's just like anything else. Like I find that AI photo editing is way ahead of video editing right now. Like when it comes to AI, like it's crazy what you can do with photos now. Yeah. Which as a photographer, I'm sure, like you look at this, Doyle, and go, okay, this is kind of crazy, and I find you just gotta, the bottom line is you gotta bring value. Like no matter what the content is, you gotta bring value. If you're able to bring value to somebody, they'll come back and keep watching videos because they're benefiting from it as well, right? At least that's what I've found. So yeah.
Well, does it make you guys excited? The recent push on YouTube is small creators.
I think it's awesome.
Oh,
I think it's awesome.
See that?
Yeah. I'll get videos pop up all the time from like sub 1,000, from like under 1,000 sub accounts, and like there's some really good creators out there, and it's really cool that they changed the algorithm in that sense, because it was a big barrier before. Just doesn't, just because you're have under 1,000 subscribers or whatever doesn't mean anything. Numbers don't mean anything. It's what you're bringing and showing people. So yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but the Liver King documentary, and it puts it out there so everybody can see it. It's on Netflix, but he's got a station set up and it's got multiple screens and it's doing nothing but playing his reels or TikToks over and over and over.
It doesn't
and just
work.
Drumming up the views. He was just mining the views, and it's, that's crazy.
IP addresses, like the algorithm knows if it's the same IP address watching the video over and over again, it doesn't count the video. At least on YouTube, it doesn't keep counting the video.
YouTube doesn't.
Yeah, that's funny. What a guy. What were you gonna say though, Vickie? We didn't.
I was just saying that's awesome, because I am one of those creators. Like, I'm under 1,000, and yeah, so I think it's awesome. I have noticed like more views, that kind of stuff. So I'm like, hey, all right, let's do it.
Love that. Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, you're gonna be too big for the algorithm.
You're always making those jokes, Doyle. Come on, man. No,
hey, man, it's almost got to up here.
So let's talk about some of the different types of content and how they apply to fishing. Obviously, we've got Doyle. He prefers, photography and different things like that. But what are some usages that you can do with photos, videos to help promote your fishing content on YouTube or any of the other social media platforms that are available?
I don't fully understand the question.
Just what can you do to promote what kind of content can you produce to promote your fishing on various platforms if you want to become a content creator? You got to figure there's people that may not know.
Just create, man.
Just do things that you're passionate about doing. I think once, like, when you're passionate about what you're making, people are going to latch on to that, and that's why, you know, Tyler's really passionate about all of his videos, and he makes really good stuff, and that's why he's got such a large following now, is because people see that, they resonate with that, they like watching it, obviously. And he's not just doing like quick, you know, cheap view videos. It's stuff that I can say this as a fan, that it's stuff that he you know, obviously really loves to do, you know, and you can tell when he's doing it, when you're watching, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy, he loves, you know, maybe not, he doesn't love being out in the rain and it's 10 degrees, but the actual like the whole process of actually making the video, you can tell that he loves it, and you can tell because he puts so much work into it. And you know, there's an ice cream truck
I
going
appreciate
by.
that, Doyle. That's nice, man. Thank you.
Do you feel like the quality of your content can be so high that people can't resonate with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it depends on certain things. Because if you look at YouTube channels like Wildfly Productions, I think is their YouTube, like their stuff is crazy good, you know, and I can't really personally, I can't relate to that at all. Like I don't fly fish, and I don't think my footage is that good, but like their stuff is crazy, and I like watching it. I really like watching it, and the way, but it all comes down to like the storytelling that they're doing, in my opinion. Like,
yeah,
you know, if the story is like up here, you know, typically, well, not typically, but like story above all, you know, and if you have a really good story, like I said before, I think the actual content is not going to matter as much. But I don't think, personally, I don't think it's not going to turn people away. But I think there's probably a line there. I just don't know what it is.
I think in my opinion, it's not so much like, I think there's two types of people. There's the people that think they can put clips together and throw all these crazy transitions into it, and it's a good video. And I guess some people like that, but like when I see videos like that, I turn them off because they like hurt my face type thing. You know, it's like less is more almost. But I mean, like Mr. Beast videos where like there's stuff coming at you like every 2 seconds. That used to be the thing. That's what everyone liked to watch. Like everyone's like, you got to edit this way for retention and stuff like that. But there's a massive shift now where people are looking for content they can relate to, whether that's just a guy talking on a GoPro. I've seen like 1 million plus videos, like view videos of this guy who just talks and smokes cigarettes. And he just talks to the camera and he just smokes cigarettes. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter the production quality. Like Doyle said, you have to resonate. You have to be yourself. The story. And if it's not a story that you're telling, like what information are you sharing? Like what people can learn from you? Like, is it education that you're doing? Is it entertainment? Like there's so many things, but don't feel like you need to throw in all this crazy stuff and buy that transition pack that's being advertised to you on Instagram like every 5 pages to make a good video. You know, that's not how it goes. It's not the case at all. So
very true. So we'll start with Vickie on this one. Obviously, we've got a group of storytellers here and people that really like to focus on the story. How did you decide to go that path versus maybe the more comedic path of, you know, kind of getting on board with, you know, doing spoofy things on, you know, just to catch the views?
I think because I started out sending them to my mom, you know, she wouldn't have appreciated goofy stuff, right? Like flashy stuff. So that's when I was like, okay, it's gonna be a story. This is how the day went, or this is how the tournament went, or whatever it is. And you know, she would watch it. Her little old lady friends would watch it, you know. So that's when I was like, oh, okay, that's, you know, if that's catching them, maybe that type of content will attract other people.
It's amazing how many people want to live vicariously through you, like people who just who want to see that side of Canada or the States or whatever, and you're showing it to them through your lens, you know. It's I get that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Anybody else got anything that they want to add to the comedic side versus the storytelling side?
I don't know. I think that
yeah.
for me, I feel like a lot of my natural, like, sarcastic personality doesn't resonate with everybody.
I understand that.
So I tend to, like, shy away from having that in a lot of the videos. I'm getting back to it and back to videos that I used to do that are just like 100% me and myself and my reactions to everything. I'm not pretending to be what I think somebody else is gonna like doing or seeing or not. So, and that's kind of my stance moving forwards. But it's gotta be I think it's gotta be a nice healthy mix of both. If you're too far on the comedy side, I think maybe people won't take you as seriously. Maybe if you want to get like sponsors or something like that, I think there could probably be a little of a gray area there. But if you go too far to the other side, you know, I think you gotta just have some fun with it. You know, if you're too serious, then it's I don't know, it's to each their own, I guess.
I mean, yeah. I think embracing your own personality. Like, I kind of did that where I was like, you know, I'm going to be more like angler and like not. But now when I do TikTok lives, it's just me talking and fishing. And I have more people stay in my live for longer when I'm just being me. So, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there. Like, yeah. You kind of have to have that medium, like, of yourself.
It's hard to make the snarky go away, Doyle.
Believe me. Yeah, dude.
Like, it just comes out.
It doesn't go away. Help it. You can't suppress it or anything. It's always there. It's like the chip on your shoulder there. It's just like
we're the total opposites in that sense. So yeah, it's a challenge. It's like oil and water.
Hey, we made it work so far.
Yeah,
but there's things that snarky person is gonna say that's just like, it catches people off guard, and it's just it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Your mind works quick, and that's one of the fun things about, I think, being a little bit snarky and a little bit having that little bit of sarcasticness to a person. It's good fun. Like I said, it's just because you think so quick. I don't put a lot of that out there. I guess I have more maybe this year than I ever have, but I like it. Moving on to the next question. Do you guys have any questions for each other that you want to ask? We're about 48 minutes into this thing. So is there any brain picking that wants to go on between the three of you?
Vickie, I know you mentioned like doing lives and stuff like that on TikTok. I was telling Doyle earlier, actually, that's something I want to do a little more this year. I thought it'd be so cool to just go live from the kayak or something while you're fishing. And so you just do that, and like people will talk to you through the chat, and you'll just answer them and stuff like that. Like that's cool.
Yeah, so I have the boomstick for the camera, and I have another little piece that my cell phone sits in, so that I can. It's a little bit closer. I can see it, and I can whack it with a fishing pole quite frequently. But usually people are like, "Wow." But yeah, and they'll just be like, "Hey, what are you fishing for today?" Or "Where are you?" Or
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really.
I want to do that more. That's pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you find that TikTok has helped you grow any of your other platforms at all? Because I'm only asking because I know Tyler doesn't have TikTok, and I had TikTok for like a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I hate this, so I'm deleted the app, and I haven't used it for like 2 years now. But I don't know if Chad has it. I know Chad's a big Threads guy, which I also don't have.
Yeah.
But
I'm on Threads, but I don't know how much I look at it.
Do you find
just,
like is there one thing that you focus on more than the others? Like for Tyler, it's YouTube is his main thing. For me, I would say right now it's probably Instagram. That's like where I put most of my energy. Is there something that you guys focus on more than the other social media content creation style apps more? And does it help grow any of your other platforms at all?
I would say no to growing your other platforms, but I will say that my TikTok is my biggest audience. And I do kind of cater to TikTok a little bit more because I feel like it's a little younger group. So people have such short attention spans that, you do those 30-second, sometimes they are flashy, but I still try to get that story in there, right? Like, okay, a little bit of flash, a big fish catch or whatever. Or if I'm on YouTube, I don't feel like I have to do that quite as much. So, but I don't think it really grows the other.
Yeah.
And then on YouTube, you can do both short and long form.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's really has benefited Tyler, and a couple of my other friends have really been able to benefit from that too. So that's kind of where I guess the question originates from.
Like I do a lot more shorts on YouTube than I do long form videos, but that's just because my longer videos weren't really getting the views where the shorts were. So I just kind of adjusted, and I'll do like one long video for 50 shorts. I can get so many more, and then
yeah. I mainly do long form on YouTube, but I found there's always something, at least one short you can pull out of each video that you make. So I've been trying to do that myself and just come up with ideas of like, what could I share with someone that will benefit them and keep it in a short video, but pack some information in it and stuff like that. And there's been successes, there's been failures, but in the end, it builds your catalog, because when someone comes to your channel and they watch a video and then they watch another video and then another video, the algorithm goes crazy and it absolutely loves that, and it will just push you further and further and further, which we've all experienced in some way or another. So that's having a good catalog there and at least something to choose from is super important for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh darn it, I had my question and then it flew from my brain, just like always. Dang it. Keep talking. It'll come to me here in a minute.
Keep talking, guys. We'll get there.
I do have a question for you guys. The drone footage, like, is it worth having a drone? Like, is it that good of? Because I see yours, Tyler, and it feels like there's a lot of drone footage, and I love it, and I'm like, I might need one.
Yeah, I like using it to just enhance the video. Like there's sometimes like too much drone. Sometimes there's too much drone, and it's just flying the drone too. Like there's good shots, and then there's like shots that are all over the place. We've all seen those shots where like you really have to fine tune the control of the drone to get the shots that you want. But I absolutely love it. And with how far the technology's come, like you can get a mini 4K for like $3.99 in the States or something, and like just having that to get that extra layer of footage is super for the price. Like you'll love it. Like it's awesome, completely different perspective, and yeah, I find it really adds to the videos for sure.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing with the drone thing and YouTube is being cautious of, especially here in the States, being cautious of using them without the license. Because
sub 250, get a sub 250.
Yeah. 250 grams. But yeah, if you get a bigger one, for sure, And if you're making any type of financial gain on YouTube or anything like that, drone footage, it really blurs the line. For those of you at home, like if you have a friend that has a company and they're like, hey, can I snag your drone footage for, I just want to post it on Instagram for my business, it was really cool. That answer should be no, unless you have a license to do that, because if you get found out selling any type of drone footage, it's a hefty fine. So you do have to be careful making money with drones as far as that goes here in the States. So
Yeah,
that
I
would be
can't
my
speak
tip
to
to
the
anybody
States,
looking
but
at a drone.
yeah.
Okay.
I am fully licensed actually for, at least in Canada, to fly drones almost anywhere.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And I got a lot of funky stories about that I could share, but I think a drone is probably the best if you want to enhance your videos, your footage. It is probably the best thing that you can buy to enhance your footage for the price that it is. And you can get you could fly the drone for 10 minutes and have enough B shots or cutaway shots for a 20-minute video, right? For every 10 seconds is a new shot. It's just such a useful tool to enhance videos. But like Tyler said, you can't overdo it. And with photos, again, Chad has been posting a lot of really good drone shots, especially lately, and but it's never been overbearing. It's just been like, oh wow, that's really cool, that's a really nice shot, or it's framed perfectly or something like that. But I would 100% suggest getting a nice small drone to do that type of stuff.
Yeah. This dude right here,
the Neo. Yeah, that's a solid one for sure.
It is stupid cheap.
Yeah.
4K quality, and picks up your voice. So you can run the DJI mic with this little dude. You need no remote, zero remote. You just hit buttons on the top of your screen and it flies out. You stick it out your hand and lands right in your hand. They also have the flip, which it's a sub 250 or 250 gram drone that is bigger than this. This one does not like the wind. The flip will like the wind a lot more. So I would highly recommend the flip versus this. But it's really cool. And the technology that's coming out to allow creators to get some of those shots versus buying the Mini and some of the others that are out now. So it's a really user-friendly platform, but I found that I'm like really using that Neo more than I anticipated liking it. I bought it as a toy to fly around with my son's kids, just to play with. And like if I go to the boat ramp, I can walk around and that thing follows me and take certain shots around the truck. Then it just comes right back to me and I don't have to care or think about it. So it's a lot of fun.
Sweet.
They're getting so easy to use. Like, don't be afraid to fly a drone. It's really easy now. Like, it's crazy for sure.
Yep. Unless it's a windy day, those
Depends
smaller drones don't hold up. But
the 4's better. The 4 and the 3 are definitely better than the 1 and the 2 Mini were.
Yeah,
by far. The 4 is the best, obviously, but
the 4 has stood up to some heavy wind for sure. Surprisingly,
sounds like we got to have a drone race this weekend.
Drone off. It's a drone off.
So what are some big projects that you guys have planned that you're looking to create this year?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So I've really I've started to branch outside of my own sort of project. I've started doing weddings here and there. Started doing some videography projects for some companies I'm working with, some local businesses. So I'm just loving creating videos and stuff like that right now. But in terms of fishing, yeah, some big projects planned for this year. We're going to be going out west for a fly fishing trip in September. It's crazy content in the mountains and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. And a lot of kayaking with Doyle, and yeah, some big fishing trips planned for this year. So I'm excited for sure. And being able to function is a big thing. So that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have like a series that I am really trying to put in where I go to different states and fish and do a lot of outdoor, not just fishing, but like outdoor, like I might camp in this state. I might, whatever in this state. I might do trout here. I might do whatever. So I just, I think that's a really fun, plus I love to travel. So that will, that's my big project for the year.
Part of my goals for this year is to get in touch with and be able to film content with as many of the team members, the Jackson team members as possible. That's kind of part of my responsibility, I feel, on as part of the team. But it's also just going to be fun, I think, because everyone's got different boats and everyone likes fishing for different stuff. Like I love fishing for muskie. I know Tyler loves fishing for smallmouth, honestly. And he's a big trout guy too. I know Aaron Dawes, he loves bass. I have a bunch of the other team members, like they all have their specific story that I think I want to help them tell, because a lot of the team members, we see them post on their perspective social medias and stuff, but I would love to get in touch and out with as many different people as possible. And then on my own sense of things, I'm actually trying to get out with as many different guides as I can this year for just species that I have no clue on how to catch. So hopefully I'll be going for Atlantic salmon on Lake Ontario in a couple of months, or probably at the end of next month. And different stuff like that. I think I'm going for walleye on the St. Lawrence in a couple of weeks. So small little things like that. Is not exactly kayak related, but it's going to be like something totally new for me. And I'm pretty excited to get out and do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So as we close this thing out, give some advice to someone who is looking to get started in content creation. And we'll start with you, Vic.
Just do it. Just keep putting out your story, your whatever you feel like you resonate with. Keep putting it out. Just, it's gonna go slow. I mean, it may not go slow, but most of the times it goes slow. And just stick with it. It'll get there.
Yeah, I'll keep going then. I echo what Vickie said for sure. Don't worry about gear at all. If you have a cell phone, use your phone. The cell phone cameras are still they're amazing these days. 4K 30 is all you need. If you're getting into it, do not worry about the numbers, views, subscribers. It doesn't matter, because if you're passionate about what you're doing, like Doyle said earlier, people will notice that. And it's contagious, and they'll come back, and it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. Like we didn't all get to where we are in like a month or two. Like it's been 4 years now. Like for myself, Doyle, it's a grind. And like, what is it? 98% of people give up on YouTube within like the first 2 months because they don't see success. Well, if you push past that and keep going, you will see success. Just be yourself. Don't worry about the gear. Don't worry about the numbers, and just create. Don't get in your head. Just create and go.
Yeah, I would just echo what you both have said already. And I think personally, it's not as much about like posting or not posting, but just being able to record or film or take photos, or just over time learning that skill that you want to learn. It's all going to help in the long road, just to be able to do it. Whether you post it or not, that is, entirely up to you. If you're not happy with something, in my opinion, I wouldn't post something that I'm not happy with. Tyler can attest to that.
Sure can.
And, but I'm always like, every time I'm out on the water, I'm filming or taking photos. Like that part of me has never stopped, you know, for the videos have there's definitely been some gaps, you know, there's definitely been long gaps, but I've never not gone out and filmed or just been able to capture as much stuff as I can, whether it's with fishing or hunting or camping or whatever, you know, even if people aren't seeing it, you know, I'm still gaining the skill and the knowledge that I'll need to be better the next time.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna add in, not to hijack or anything, but like, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you see someone doing something that you like or you want to learn how to do it, this community is super friendly. I mean, like even in our group, a couple of guys recently asked me a couple of questions, how I did certain thing, this and that. I love, that's a compliment to me, man. I like, and anyone else, I'm sure. I love helping out and just sharing the knowledge. So like, don't be afraid to ask questions to anyone, you know, if you like what they're doing, for sure.
Mine would have to be invest in yourself, as far as, you know, learning. You know, if you've got a local photography shop or anything like that that offers some different classes or whatever, even if it's YouTube and you can get some schooling through that, you know, invest in learning, invest in trying to always graduate to that next level, to keep yourself growing, and invest in your equipment. You know, Tyler said, you know, phones and different things like that. But as you move along through this journey, um, keep investing in your equipment, because it's as a creator, you know, these are our tools, and we're always looking at different things and, you know, trying different things. And is that one camera going to make something that much better? Yeah, it could. It could help your quality of footage. The stability could be better. iPhones and action cameras are great these days, and you know there's always a new one coming. But sensors get bigger and stuff like that. So don't settle in that department. At the same time, continue to, you know, grow and invest in yourself, and you know, add equipment. You know, your cell phone might be where you start, but you might add a secondary action camera for a different angle later on. You know, you might pick up a Neo or a Flip just to kind of get yourself some quick, easy drone shots that are, you know, seamlessly done from the palm of your hand. So keep learning, keep investing in you, and keep growing in that way would be, you know, some of the advice that I would give. But I did remember my other question. Thank you, Doyle, with your wording.
No problem.
Let's talk about post consistency. How consistent do you need to post on social media of any type?
I don't know. I think people, I don't, the distance between posts, I don't think matters as much, as long as you're consistent with like a schedule. If it's every Saturday or every second Saturday or the first Saturday of every month or whatever, I think that is more important than like daily uploads or anything like that. Because I don't have time for that. I don't have time to watch that. And I'm sure other people don't as well. I mean, if you're looking for those 14-year-old kids to watch after school, then maybe you have to go the Mr. Beast route. But for me personally, especially recently with a lot of things that are going on with my personal life, I haven't really been posting that much. I think I posted one YouTube video in like the last 3 months. And I posted like twice on Instagram since January. So yeah, it's been, for me, I've not been consistent at all. So I don't really have any any advice for any of that. But I haven't noticed anything going down. So
you mentioned Mr. Beast though, and I think it's important for people to know that Mr. Beast has a team of editors.
A massive team.
He's not a one-man show. So to try to keep up with something like that is just insane. You're going to run yourself in the ground.
Yeah. your quality is going to suffer, everything's going to suffer, and people will just stop watching. Like for this question, I personally think it's different for everyone. It depends what position you're in. I used to be like the guy was like, I got to get a video a week out, and like it would stress me out because I would grind and grind and grind, and I have a really high like expectations of myself, and kind of like Doyle, and yeah, like don't stress yourself out like that. Like one video a month, even one video a month is good. Like it's whatever you want to do, but like a lot of content, don't think a lot of content's going to get you anywhere. It's going to do the complete opposite, at least in my opinion. Yeah. And it will burn you out. Yeah. And then you're not going to want to do it at all. So yeah, it's not good.
I agree. I think consistency is the key. You know, whatever you're comfortable with, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, Doyle,
yearly.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
I think, yeah, as long as you're getting what you feel is your best creation. Yeah, I think the consistency and however frequently that is.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
That's awesome. Very good advice, guys. Very, very good advice. So as we close this thing out here, we're at an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm going to go around the room. We'll start with Doyle. Just thank the people that you want to thank and tell people where to find you on the socials.
I would like to thank my lovely friend Tyler.
No one's ever called me lovely before.
That's not true. I've met your mom.
I'm just joking.
I want to give a shout out to Will. Obviously, you know, he's been a supporter of me since the beginning, and a long time friend. You know, lifelong friendship has grown out of that, and a forever mentorship for me. And I'd like to give the thanks to Bass Dash. They've been continuously growing supporter of me. They've got some really cool new hats coming out, so everyone should go check those out. I think Tyler has some already. And I want to shout out to my friend Miguel Migsig. I've actually got one of his hoodies on, and he's been a huge supporter of me. He's a good supporter of Tyler now too, I believe. It's a clothing company, probably the most comfortable hoodies that I've ever worn. He also does custom fishing jerseys. So I've got a good muskie and pike jersey, and shout out to muskie season starts this Saturday. So good luck to everybody out there going for muskie. I'll see y'all on the water.
Yeah, for me, it'll just be all the viewers, all the supporters, Sail Outdoors, Bass Dash, Jackson Kayak. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
And Doyle and Vickie.
I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, Jackson Kayak is huge. They were my first team that I was on. Kistler and Black Wolf Lures, all awesome. And you can find me, The Adventures of General Hooligan, pretty much on any social media.
Yeah, I forgot to add that too. The Big Fish Energy, YouTube, Instagram.
Oh yeah, man. I'm Eastern Ontario Adventures on YouTube. I just put a really good video up, in my opinion, and I bought a fishing rod from the dollar store, and I wanted to see how good it was. So had a lot of fun doing that. We've also got a Chio fishing tournament coming up at the beginning of July. It's a live bass tournament, and if you want to get any information from that, you can feel free to contact Aaron Dawes, as they're taking donations this year for Chio to help the kids in the hospital.
Children's Hospital.
So,
that's what Chio.
Yeah, Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, and anyone who wants to donate to that, we are more than happy and appreciate anything that anyone is willing to do towards that.
Yeah, a huge event in the Canadian fishing community every year, and Aaron has done a phenomenal job putting that thing on. I mean, just knocks
Aaron's
it out of the park
amazing,
each
dude.
and every year.
I don't know how he does it, honestly. But
it's
mind blowing to me,
Huge event, and everybody should at least check it out on the socials, and support them the best you can. I know a lot of you folks in the States can't, but if you're in Canada, definitely be over there and check it out. And I think a lot of our Jackson team will be there for that event, so that'll be cool. Yeah. So with that being said, guys, we appreciate the heck out of you watching, listening, however you found us. Check us out, jacksonkayak.com. Go to your local Jackson Kayak dealer, take a test at a demo in a boat, do some paddling, get yourself outdoors, catch a few fishies, maybe, get you a kayak, float under a tree, read a book. Just however you want to do it. Have fun, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
See
Float
ya.
under a tree, get your rod stuck.